Enock Warinda. I am the Executive Director of the Association for Strengthening Agricultural Research in Eastern and Central Africa, otherwise known as Asareca. This is an association, intergovernmental, formed by the governments of 14 African countries. It was established in 1994, September to be precise. So we are on our 28th year. And what do we do as Asareca? Our major work is to convene all the stakeholders who are involved in agricultural research. And this agricultural research for development is a major component in our society because we need food, and not just food, but we need food which has got high nutrients. And we need to make sure that this food is sustainable. So we have to work with various stakeholders, the farmers, the private sector, the researchers from the research organizations, and we also must work with all the policymakers. So this association, which was formed in 1994, focuses majorly on the agricultural research for development, and we are guided by 14 directors general of the organizations within each of the countries. Asareca was formed to do 6 major things. The first one is to convene all the players within the 14 countries. The players in terms of agricultural research, the players in terms of private sector, the players from the higher education, the players who deal with extension services, as well as the players that bring together farmers, what we call the farmer organizations. So we make sure that we convene all these groups of people to discuss the matters that affect not just one country, but all the 14 countries. Because the problems of food and nutrition insecurity doesn't know a boundary. It goes from one country to another. So number 2 activity that we are supposed to do as Asareca is to facilitate the activities related to agricultural research for development, one of which is climate smart agriculture. And our job is to make sure that we facilitate the stakeholders, the researchers who generate the technologies. We bring them together, make them sit on the same table with the farmers, with the private sector, and with the policymakers, so that when they go back, the scientists go back to their research stations and develop the technologies. These technologies should be demand-driven from the farmers, so that the farmers tell the scientists, this is the type of technology that we would want you to develop to suit us. So our job is to make sure that we facilitate all the scientists, all the private sector, all the researchers to sit on the same table. Our major third activity that we do is coordination. We coordinate all country activities, but at the regional level. So we look at what Tanzania is doing and what Kenya, Uganda, Madagascar, Central African Republic are doing, and we bring them together for a dialogue on the table. And when we bring them together, we also invite the meteorological department, because we are dealing with climate smart agriculture. The meteorological department is important because they provide us with the data which the farmers need to use in making predictions on when should they plant, when should they not plant, how should they plant, do they need to irrigate their farms. So they also sit on the table. The policymakers come in to help in the movement of technologies from one country to another. So we bring them on the table as we are doing our coordination work. We are also a partnership broker as our 4th activity. We broker partnership in the sense that we make Cameroon participants know more about the Tanzanian participants. The Tanzanian participants also know more about Madagascar. So we make sure that we bring them together so that they can learn as a way of benchmarking to know what is Cameroon doing, which South Sudan can copy, and what is Eritrea doing, which Tanzania can copy. So we also make sure that we broker that kind of a partnership. And we also see how do we link these farmers and our researchers from all the 14 countries, even with the European partners, even with Brazil, and even with India as part of the South-South collaboration. The fifth activity that we do is communication. We communicate the good activities that we are doing. Each of the countries, like now Tanzania, we thank the government for hosting us through the Tanzania Agriculture Research Institute. What we are going to do here is that we are going to be communicating to the other members what good practice has been done. Tanzanian government is kind enough to allow the participants from all the 14 countries to go to the field and see what is happening in the field, how the farmers are using the technologies, how they are dealing with the climate smart, how they can reach more farmers. So this is very, very important, and in that process there's a lot of communication and exchange of knowledge. The last but not least is that we are supposed to act as a catalyst. We come up with an example from this training. Each of the participants goes back to their country and they now tell the others what they have learned, and they make sure that they expand it, they replicate it, they multiply it, and they make sure that these good practices work. So we are, as Asareca Secretariat in Uganda, we are so happy with the Tanzanian government. We are so glad with the Tanzanian Agriculture Research Institute General Director, the Director General, Dr. Geoffrey Mkamilo, who has welcomed us here. And we believe that this particular training is going to go a long way in making our region better than the way it has been. So we just want to welcome you, and also see our website, which we shall be showing you on how you can see much that we are doing. We are very grateful, and thank you, and thank you so much. We appreciate your support.